Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 2nd of November. So looking at the euro dollar first, and the euro's just run up through the Asian session there into the daily 8 moving average. Question now is, can it push further into the monthly pivot, or are we going to see it roll over? It seems to be reacting to that daily 8 at the moment. And stroke the weekly pivot there, getting a bit of a reaction. I've got the monthly pivot not far above, so we'll just see how it rolls out this morning. There's very little reaction to the FOMC yesterday, and there's very little. There's a couple of speakers later on that may affect the euro, but we've got a bit of data coming out in the US 12:30ish, but there's little else for the euro today, so we'll see how it goes. At the moment, well, as I say, having that reaction, it's sort of air-kissed actually the weekly pivot by the looks of things there, pulled straight back off, and then now just, well, we're back into a range. A break of the sort of pivots, I've got moving averages here, the 50, 34 sort of zone. If it starts breaking through that, well, maybe we'll retest yesterday's lows, maybe down to the S1, but it's, well, it's slow at the moment. As I said, there is the potential for it to push up towards that weekly pivot at some point. Okay, not a lot else to be said there at the moment. It's yeah, quite choppy, right? With small range. Let's have a look at the pound. Now, it's pound alert day today, really, because at 9:30 we've got the construction PMI. It's a lesser figure, so it may create some volatility, but it tends to be a smaller amount. But then, really, we're looking towards 12 o'clock when there's a whole plethora of data coming out. We've got the inflation report, we've got the obviously the expected interest rate increase due. We've got the policy coming out as ever, and then at 12:30 we've got Carney speaking. So there is expected a 0.25% interest rate priced pretty much into the market, but it will still be interesting to see how the market reacts to it, and more so what's said at the time with Carney speaking at 12:30. So it's a bit of, as I say, a bit of an alert on the pound there, making it a bit sort of a standoffish until all of that's out, really. We may then get given a bit of a lead in terms of direction, but over the last month it's pretty much chopped here. It's stayed within a tightish range. It's tried breaking out yesterday, failed. Maybe we'll see some sort of breakout from that after 12:30. Right, okay, so there's the pound. There's not much else to do on that until that data's out, to be quite honest. I'll still be keeping away from it. Dollar yen, well, it continued pushing up yesterday. I was wondering whether it was going to sort of roll over at some point, pull back towards that monthly pivot, but never got triggered into any trades. At the moment, it's still looking relatively bullish. It's got like sort of V. It's not really a V bottom as such, but this sort of V shape sort of sitting in there. You do wonder if we'll just see a continuation of that move to the upside. Still got the monthly pivot below it, but as I say, looks relatively weak at the moment from what we're seeing here. Had a bit of strengthening through the Asian session. Starts breaking above that 21 moving average. Maybe it could be on for yesterday's highs in the R1, but more overall, maybe now pushing more long side bias for me, even though we've got the pivot below. Okay, Aussie dollar. It's well, run into its monthly pivot here, pulled back into that. It's been pretty bearish overall. I still remain relatively bearish, and I do wonder here now, are we going to see some reaction to this monthly pivot? You'll see we're already having a minor reaction here. Is it going to sell off? Maybe a breakthrough those hourlies 8s, may see us pull back towards the 21s as the pivot. It didn't quite, oh, it did actually diverge at the top there, so there was a bit of divergence running between the two highs. Well, the bar in between it is a bit odd, but either way, it doesn't look particularly strong up here, and so maybe a break of that 60-minute 8 rather, could see us coming further south there with the Aussie. Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar range, you can see the size of these bars again, they're getting small and tighter, a lot tighter again now, looking like it's following through in a bit of a sell back yesterday. Didn't quite diverge at these highs here, it wasn't even quite a double top, it was marginally there, but it's just rolled itself over at the moment. The weekly pivot sits below, would be a half reasonable target if it can continue in that direction. As I say, it's looking like it's rolling at the moment, a bit short-termism. Well, I was just about to put a bullish engulfing candle in by the looks of things. Maybe if it breaks back up here, it'd be worth waiting until it runs back into the 21s. Has got an untouched pivot, but we pretty much touched the pivot an hour or two before, so it may not get touched today. So we'll just watch this price action. Maybe look to continue this intermediate term trend here. That's pretty much it for me. That's everything through there. Other news, there is no other news really. As I said, it's mainly around the Bank of England today from 9:30 then 12 o'clock onwards, 12:30. Very little US data, a couple of speakers. We've got Powell and Dudley, FOMC speakers. One of them's opening a meeting, a committee roundtable hosted by Federal Reserve. That's well, okay, and the other one speaking at that same event. So not expecting to see lots of volatility there from those speakers. So that's it. Have a good day. Bye for now.